Recorded.
Fantastic. Okay, we're going to move forward with our with today's presentation. So appreciate you guys for joining. And what we want to talk through today is a little bit more in depth and talk a little bit more through some of the talk track around the red light recovery units that you guys have got, and actually more so the Recovery Pro units. So we have two of those in the range, and we're going to talk a little bit about those today. So first and foremost, let's meet those guys. So really wanted to introduce to you guys today the upgraded recovery options that we're really looking to be able to elevate the Black Card Spa from not only an experiential perspective, but also to support your members' wellness needs. As you can see from both of these units on the screen right now, they do look very different to what we used to have in the Black Card Spa with regard to the Beauty Angel. So you can see this new look and feel of the units, which we think actually really kind of makes a much more of a statement for you guys to talk through and talk about to members. So let's jump straight into this. We're going to go through to start with the stand-up unit just very briefly, because I know most of you that are on this call, you guys have the lay-down unit, so we're going to spend a bit more time with that. But then towards the end of this, we're going to come on to some information around kind of the talk track and really kind of the things that we've worked with the Planet corporate team on, what we want to talk about to members and what we feel comfortable talking about. And then we will finish up with a little bit of a Q&A at the end. So hopefully that will give you guys some time to ask some questions and ask me anything. And to be honest with you, if there's some things here that I'm unsure of or I'm unaware of, or I don't know, I'm not going to try and answer them. I'll find the answer and I will come back to you. So let's crack on with the next page. So the first product that we're going to meet in this range is going to be the Recovery Pro booth. This again is something that is going to be available and is currently available to the locations that may want to be able to replace a current TBE with this particular product. This is the booth and is the replacement for that current stand-up unit that you guys currently have. It has that built-in VibraShape platform that we know members really like, which creates obviously some of that flexibility and muscle activation through the different programs that you can see on the bottom left of the screen. This is the 12-minute session. It's quick, it's efficient, and it's really sort of that easy fit in for any user through there. The thing that we really love about this particular unit in the Pro version is that we now have 3 wavelengths of light, whereas previously the Beauty Angel or the TBE actually was working on primarily around the 2 lower level wavelengths of light, which is the 630 nanometers and 660 nanometers through the fluorescent tubes that are in the bed. This particular unit now actually also goes into the near infrared range, and we operate on this one at the nanometer range of 850. That really gets us into that near infrared range, and really just adds an additional wavelength of light, which really now starts to promote sort of full body recovery. With this one, we have the same on-screen guidance that you got from the TBE. And this one now has obviously the same amount of beauty lamps, the 32 180 watt beauty lamps, but this time with this particular unit, we've added an additional 600 near infrared LEDs, and they are dotted throughout that unit, and they are the lights that are then able to add that third wavelength of red light for us. So again, it's very simple, get in and go. You step inside that unit and follow those prompts, and you then have those four programs to be able to work from there. And just in the bottom right there, you can see what we actually have here, just from a little bit of the technology and the statistics perspective. So we have some of those stats there that you can utilize, and again, it just goes through the different wavelengths of light that we have. You guys will be familiar with on the TBE. Oh, bear with me a second, sorry. You guys will be familiar with the operational instructions on this particular product. They go as you see here. This is just a slightly revamped control console on this one, slightly different colorway, but again, the controls are pretty much familiar with everything that you currently had on the TVE on this one. So it's this on-unit controller just is really keeping. We wanted to make sure we kept all of those popular features, those 4 VibraShape programs, the ability to be able to link to your phone and listen to your own soundtrack, and then adjust that ventilation, which we know as those units get warmer through their use, that it's really important for us to continue to have that. So just a brief overview there of the stand-up unit. For the majority of you that are on this call, though, we know that the new laydown unit is really the piece of the puzzle right now that is new and is exciting to you. So let's jump onto that one and talk a little bit about that. This is the RedLite Pro laydown unit, and this is a full LED bed. This is something that really offers what we believe right now is the most comfortable and immersive red light and near infrared recovery session in your current lineup. So as you can see, looks very, very different to what you're used to from a red light perspective. With this one here, you have nearly 5,000 infrared LEDs in this bed, top and bottom. And for those of you that have used that product already, or those of you that have seen it or have gone through the on-site training with me on this one, you'll know that when we flick the switch on that thing and turn it on, you'll know just how bright that is. That really does light up the room when you hit the on button on this particular product. So with this one, we have those 3 wavelengths of red light. We have the 630 and the 660, which primarily is sort of more around the red light usage that your members are used to, more superficial, more dermis level from a skin perspective. And then we have the 850 nanometers in that particular unit that really helps that in-depth and depth of recovery. So there's a little bit of a deeper penetration into the skin with the 850, and that's why now we're at this point where we have the ability through those infrareds to be able to offer, or through those LEDs, I should say, that we're now able to offer those 3 wavelengths of light. Within this unit, because it's the laydown unit, this is the one that I really love, is my personal favorite. And it's my personal favorite because you get that spa-like, relaxing, ergonomic position when you lay there. You have the contoured acrylic with this one. So when you lay on it, it's contoured around the head and neck, and then also around the lower body and into the feet. So you should really feel a lot more comfort on this particular unit when you utilize this, because of that contoured acrylic. You also on this unit have the adjustable cooling fan for your comfort, which is a really nice addition to this particular product. And the reason that it's a really nice additional addition to this product is that because of the LEDs on this unit, it doesn't get as hot as the stand-up brothers and sisters. And it doesn't do that because the LEDs themselves actually don't drive as much heat as a traditional lamp does. So you'll find that this bed generally will be a little bit cooler in the way that it uses, in the way that you use it. And you'll find that actually, even though if you run back-to-back sessions on this, the bed will get warmer, it will get nowhere near as warm or as hot as the traditional TBE did from those fluorescent lamps perspective. So you'll find that this one, you'll get a more spa-like experience with this. It won't get as hot, but there is a fan on there that you can adjust with three adjustment settings on there that will just allow you to have a little bit more of a comfortable experience if you happen to have either used it, after the 3rd or 4th person that has used it and the bed has warmed up a little bit. I'm going to come on to the touch screen display in a second, because it's incredibly easy to use and really intuitive. And the thing that we really the other additional thing that we really love about this particular bed is just its ease of use, B, its ergonomic design and layout, and thirdly, that deeper recovery experience that we can truly get with this particular product. With it being the 5,000 LEDs in this particular unit. So it's a get on and go. It's a kind of, as it says here, it's a relax, follow the prompts, and just enjoy that full body recovery experience. And the thing that really sets this aside is the fact that it is just that much more comfortable. If you've come from a workout or a heavy workout or a hard workout, and then you go into a stand-up unit for around 12 minutes, you get to a point where sometimes I know I feel that sometimes when I get in after about 8 minutes, having had, let's say, for example, I know a leg lifting session or a heavy strength session, I'm like, really? I got to stand here for another 4 minutes to get this done? I love the fact that actually we can go into this unit and actually we can lay down, and it really feels like that recovery experience is starting straight away. And so with this one as well, you would clean this unit exactly the same way that you would with a tanning unit. So any of the tanning cleaners that you have there, that with the cleaning fluids and the equipment that you use to clean those acrylics on those beds, it's exactly the same for this. So the cleanup should be identical to that. But we think that this is just going to give you a very, very different experience, and new members a very, very different experience on this particular product. And so what does the console look like? So with this particular product, it's very, very simple. And this is it. It's a small black console that sits at the head end of the unit. And once the time has been sent from front desk through the T-Max timer, the customer will get onto that unit and they'll just hit the start button. That will load their time into there. And literally, that is it. The time will show, if you can see my cursor, your time will show in the center screen here. And to the right here, you'll see there's a ventilation adjustment. You can just touch that little button there. It's a little touch screen. You can touch that 1, 2, or 3 times, and that will take the fan from low through to high. It's pretty much that simple. So you'll get on, you'll hit the stop button, your time will start, and then if you want to use the ventilation, you'll just hit that button and go. So as it says there, it's this get on and go design. The only thing to consider is if you want to add some air. Okay. And that primarily for this particular product and this particular product line is really about it when it comes to the features and what it actually does, and why we think this is just going to be such a nice little differentiator for you in the clubs at the moment. So let's talk a little bit about the talk track and what we actually want to say about this. So this is something that we've worked with Planet Fitness, and I know Steph and Evan are on the call right now, that we've worked with the corporate team on to make sure that we can be really very concise and precise about what we want to say about this. And the main points for us to remember when we talk about these products really are as kind of follows below here. I think we would want to really make sure that we talk about it the way that it may help with the appearance of fine lines, roughness of the skin, and wrinkles. We have seen that. There's a lot of research out there that talks around that. We also want to talk a little bit about how the improvement of the appearance of skin tone and the texture of skin. That is also something that is very, very widely researched with regard to red light. We also know that it really sort of aids that recovery, and what we just talked about earlier, whether you've had a heavy cardio session or a heavy strength session, we want to be able to start that recovery pretty much straight away in aiding that next point, which is the active recovery. So if you have members that want to be able to start utilizing red light and they want to use it as part of their active recovery on maybe either a rest day or they're doing a lighter day, this is a really good product for them to be able to continue to use while they're going through that active recovery. And we also know that there's a really good chance that this can really help improve skin complexion. So there's a lot of research out there that talks about skin complexion, and certain people will often ask us about acne and those sort of things. And while we're not going to say that out loud and we're not going to talk to customers about that, we are going to talk to them, and we feel comfortable about talking to them about improving skin complexion. And then ultimately, the thing that we also used to talk about with the total body enhancement and the TBE was red light providing that total body enhancement. So when we start to think about the new wavelengths of light that we have with that third wavelength at 850 in the near infrared range, it really provides some more additional evidence and support for that total body enhancement. So I just put here below there some examples. So what if the member asks us a couple of things? Well, what if they ask, I just had surgery, will this help with healing scars? Your answer really around that is that red light can improve skin tone and texture, but firstly, we'd recommend you checking with your surgeon before using the RedWave. Those things are just very, very important to do, especially if we're talking about after surgery or scars. We want to talk very, very openly about it, but we want to make sure that we recommend that they check with their surgeon or their doctor before using it. Next one, I'm feeling sore from my workouts this week. Can the RedWave help with recovery? The answer is, as part of your overall fitness routine, using the RedWave can support your active recovery after training. And I think that just creates a really nice statement to be able to say, yes, we know that supporting your recovery is important, and utilizing RedWave we think can certainly help that. Third question is, I bought a red light panel for home for my face. Will the RedWave be similar or a better solution? The answer, as part of your holistic routine, the RedWave will help supplement and add total body red light to your facial skincare routine. We see this a lot. We see in lots of different applications. We see that people talk a lot about, oh well, I got this particular panel, or I got this face mask at home. Will this help? Well, the answer is yes. It's going to continue to support all of those things that you're doing with your facial skincare. We're going to be able to see those results as well while utilizing the lay down bed. And it's going to supplement that just total holistic view and active recovery piece. So they're really the main talk track points. The elements at the top here that we highlighted in that we emboldened here, they're the ones that really I want you to take away from this. I want you to take away from the fact that we're going to talk about improving the appearance of skin tone and texture, supports active recovery, and provides total body enhancement. Those are the main three things that we really want to be able to take away from this conversation today, so that you guys feel comfortable and equipped. If a customer has any further questions, you can always feel free to direct them to the JK website or the JK America website, where we are currently rebuilding that website. So it's going through some additional changes and stuff, but on there'll be more product information. There will be more RedWave and red light scientific information. So we're going to start to build that out, and there'll be more and more information on there for people to go to for FAQs or anything in addition that they might have questions on that you don't quite necessarily feel either comfortable or prepared to have. You can always direct them to us. And I think right now, even now, we still, on a week-to-week basis, we get emails directly at our inbox for the service and the helpline. We get Planet Fitness members messaging us on a weekly basis already for us to answer some of those questions. So nothing too different there, but you just know that you have that support and backup from us to be able to support you if your members have further questions. Okay. And so with that in mind, and perfectly on time at about my 1:20 point, 1:20 Central Time, I should say, we'll move towards a Q&A. So if any of you guys have any questions or anything further that you'd like to ask about this particular product, or Steph or Evan, if there's anything else that you guys would like to add, then please drop them in the webinar chat. I have enabled that panel, so you should be able to write any questions that you have in there, and I would love to be able to support and ask any and try to answer any questions that you guys might have. Steph, do you want to kick off with any questions, just so that maybe we can get the ball rolling? Yes, of course. So Steph asks, could you please describe maintenance after each use? Absolutely. So again, as I said earlier, a little bit like for your tanning bed experiences, when you have somebody go through, we would always recommend that you have wipes and cleaning fluid in the room so that those people can actually utilize it themselves, and they can clean that bed themselves. But it's always worth, for the first few visits as people go through, it's always worth somebody else just dropping in there from a staff perspective, just to make sure that the bed is clean and it's all tidy and it's ready for the next user. But in essence, the same maintenance schedule as you have currently for the tanning beds, working and cleaning those acrylics, is exactly what we would expect for the lay down unit. Good question, Steph. Does anybody else have anything that I can help you with? Well, Steph, at the moment, this might be the fastest webinar on history. Jeremy, how long do the bulbs last, and what is the process of changing them out? That's a great question. So the beauty of the lay down unit is that we actually have around 20,000 hours worth of use out of the lights on this. And just to give you an idea, you guys are generally trading out tanning beds or changing out tanning beds at anywhere between 8 and 12,000 hours. That usually is anywhere between 8 and 10 years. So with this particular unit, the lay down unit, you should be at a point where you would never need to change out the lights, because the LEDs just last up to around 20,000 hours. Okay, so what about the new stand-up booth? Another good question. The LEDs on that stand-up booth, you wouldn't need to change those. You would need to go through the same process that we do right now with the lamps in that particular product, which would be anywhere between 800 to 1,000 hours. So that would be very, very similar to what you're already doing for tanning beds, because of the phosphorus in those fluorescent lamps, and those would need changing over a particular period of time. Hopefully, Jeremy, that answers your questions. Jeff, if a member tans and uses red light, which should they use first? That's a good question. So for a lot of the Planet Fitness locations that have tanning, you'll have sometimes, some of you, I think probably most of you, actually will have a tanning bed that has additional red light with it. So with regards using red light and tanning, whichever one the member wants to use first is fine. There is no particular guideline as to red light first and then tanning, or tanning first and then red light. All that we know is that red light can really help support, from a tanning perspective, red light can really help support the longevity of a tan, but in a number of instances it doesn't really matter which way around you use that. Courtney, how often should people be using the red light bed? Really good question, Courtney. So what we normally would recommend to most people is that it's very, very difficult for you to be able to overexpose on red light. You would have to be using it for hours and hours on end to be able to really get to a point where you can overexpose. But primarily from a usage perspective, we really start to think that anywhere between 3 to 5 times a week is going to be more than sufficient to be able to find the or get the compounded benefits from utilizing a red light product. Hopefully, Courtney, that answers your question. Okay. Unless anybody else has any further questions to finish up, I will we'll close the webinar for today. There is a recording of this, so this will go on to the microsite, and we will get this one out to you guys as soon as that is available. But up until, unless there are any last questions, okay, then in which case I'll say thank you to you guys for taking the time out of your day, and I look forward to speaking to you soon, and look out for the recording of the webinar. Thank you, guys.